free my mind, I'll be alright. Soon as I free my mind, I'll be just fine.
Let your soul glow. Free your mind, let your soul glow. Free your mind, let your soul glow. Free your mind, let your soul glow. All right, y'all, this is your girl Brittany back with another one. Brittany Bud Creations, you know what it is. All right, so we're going to continue on this theme of being the generational curse breaker. You will notice that as you start breaking those generational curses, changing the programming, like as I discussed in the other video about brainwashing. Basically, programming is basically a form of brainwashing, indoctrination, all of the above. You know, so with that being said, once you begin to understand what your triggers are, your triggers and so forth, you'll be able to better control those particular aspects of what comes with being the generational curse breaker. And so you'll notice that as you're going through this process of removing this whole shell, this programming that you were basically inducted into, you'll notice that everything around you, it may start to get a little shaky. You know, the old ways of being are completely outdated. They're no longer relevant anymore. And so you'll begin purging narcissistic individuals. You'll wake up one day basically like I did. Hey, oh my God, everybody's individual is a narcissist. But we are in the world of, narcissism, narcissistic individuals. Narcissistic individuals derived from this whole system we live in. Basically, like how they did the cults back in the days that we heard about. What's his name? That had the people drinking that Kool-Aid. Jim Jones, the Jim Jones cult and all of that. That's basically a government program, in all other words. And that's what that's all about. And it started with our government and basically then rolled over all the way onto the population, where the population is so programmed on every level. They're completely unaware. Like, in America, everybody think they're free, but we're not. We're basically been brainwashed to think that we're free, but we're not. It's just a high level of brainwashing, in all the words. And so with that being said, when you begin to take back your power as being the former scapegoat, the greatest of all time now, the GOAT, then you begin to reprogram your mind on every level. You begin purging those different individuals around you that do not serve your good anymore. Just start suiting and basically putting your life together in such a way where now it aligns with your purpose and the things that you want. You'll also notice there will be a form of authenticity that will begin to rise in you. And as that authenticity starts to come forth, it's like basically all the parts of you as a child that basically, died years, were suppressed years ago, I guess by the programming, then you'll notice those pieces, you'll begin to start recalling those bits of creativity, and also like it goes hand in hand as you begin to come into your awakening and so forth. Because I know for me personally, it started with, there's certain parts of your body that hold trauma and that hold memory. And as you start to come back into your body again, you start to begin to feel those different things, and you allow, and that's what I'm talking about when it comes to those triggers. Those triggers, basically, those are basically trapped memories in your body. And so as you begin to feel those emotions and so forth, and instead of fighting and tensing up, allow it to come through, allow it to bubble through, and just be in that moment with it. And I know that was helpful for a lot of people, well, at least I do, a lot of people, other people do, is that they do, you can do the yoga, really dance. Dance is very great, I'm going to say another one, if you get into the dance thing real tough, get the crumping, get the feeling, feeling your emotions in your body. And all of that stuff, all of that repressed, all of that repressed programming, those things that basically you've had to keep on, you have to keep on lockdown within yourself, those parts of yourself you've had to hide away, or you have to basically ask and get permission from the environment around you. Is it okay? Is it okay if I express this, if I express that, am I going to be outcasted if I do this? Well, at a certain point, you just begin to release that. And when you break through those barriers and you start to feel it in your base, at the base of your spine, and you allow it to move up through you, that kundalini, the spiritual, that spiritual serpent that's moving it through you. Basically, when they say that you're struck by the Spirit, or you got the Holy Spirit, and you're speaking in tongues just in church and so forth, or if you're, you do like, what do you call it? The communion and the communion. If you're taking a communion in church, and you begin to and you drink the little wine, and I hear the Spirit. Basically, that's in all other words called that, the Kundalini awakening in you, that energy surge that you feel moving through your spine. And when you do that with dance, you begin to release some of that trapped emotion in your body, and as you begin to face your triggers and so forth, as you continue to, again, like I said before, activate that movement in your body. When those triggers, they start to become, you start to desensitize from it. It's not as intense as it used to be, and you'll notice that, your frame of mind, instead of you reacting, it'd be more so a thing of you, okay, I noticed something. Where did that come from? Who placed that on me? Okay, that's a lie. Let me send it back to them, and you start to release that, that energy that's within you. The whole point is to release the energy. So as you're breaking through that portion of it, you'll notice bits of bits of who you were, who you were before all the program. That sense of childlike, joy, and happiness that'll start coming up through you. You'll start to experience that more the more you continue to do it. And as you, again, it's a healing process and all of that. And basically, it's a form of therapy where you can begin to, like I said before, how they have programmed us through the Pavlov conditioning and so forth. You basically begin to work that. You start to train your body not to react as much, not to become triggered as much. It's like basically with people who have been sexually abused and so forth. You're going to have to get in your body and feel those things again, and you're going to have to work through that. It'll be a process, and, with some, that's why I feel like some of the most creative people, they're some of the most, they're so creative because they're able to transmute that pain, to work through that process, that pain by putting it on the paper, by getting the energy out, by allowing the subconscious mind to be able to come forward and to basically It's basically like interfacing with yourself again, you know. You're interfacing with yourself. It's basically like having communion with God, you know, when you go into those different modes. So that's why I believe, though, that as you begin to purge, you're breaking through those different modes. It starts in the body, you know, and it starts with, you know, in your mind, being able to slow down, sit back and observe and review what belongs to you and what don't belong to you. Okay. And after that, as you're becoming more authentic, as you're becoming more of who you are, then you start to purge the environment around you of those who do not match that vibe, do not match your level of authenticity. Okay. You start to remove them, you know, and or if you cannot remove them completely out your life, you'll set a certain boundary or distance so that way you can continue to open your heart, open that creativity valve, and to become more present, to become at a point where now you're not just surviving, now you are living. You're actually beginning to create your heaven on earth when you're able to feel again. You can't heal anything if you don't feel anything. And so as you begin to work through all of that, then basically it's like going up the scale. It's like basically when you hit a new level, you know, in Mario Karts or something, in some type of video game, you know, and you go to that little beam, and you go to the next level. That's what you do, in all other words. And you'll notice that as you begin to transmute, it'll be like going through like a birth canal. It'll feel like that because you are purging your old identity, which is that identity that was assigned to you. It was never yours. But you're now beginning to break through that mold. If before the mask may have been cracked, that low mold had been cracked, now you're just literally just shedding it completely, just busting up out of it, you know, busting up out of it. And you'll notice that it's basically with people who are very narcissistic, they externalize themselves onto everybody else, you know, because they don't know how, they don't have or don't want the tools to basically work on themselves. But as you shed that skin, whatever people are clinging on to you, whatever that old identity was, they're clinging on to that old snake skin that you're leaving behind. You're shedding all of that off, and it'll feel like you're just getting squoze to that birth canal, squoze. And so when they're talking about, you know, spiritual awakening, what you're doing is changing your whole life. You're changing your mind. You're changing your perspective. You're changing how you see things. And this will be at a point once you come to a spiritual realization of, you know, I'm tired of being in this place. I'm tired of being at this certain point. Then you'll begin to do self-reflection. Just start to do the inner work on healing yourself, which means if you need to go get help as far as when it comes to seeing a therapist or so forth, do so by all means. If it means you're going to transmute through your art, do that by all means, because your outer is a reflection of your inner. Just like, you know, that show Hoarders, you know, those people didn't just get there on their own. Okay. That is a result of their mind. That is a mindset, you know, that they are carrying. So as within, as without, it's just a reflection of what their mind is, you know. And so as you begin to clean your mind up, then you'll start to clean up everything around you. You'll start to put things into order, you know. So along my journey, I found it very helpful to, you know, the first thing that I felt in my awakening, and like I said, I believe that using music is a key factor in feeling those emotions, getting the energy moving. You have to get the energy moving, you know. And sometimes, you know, when you're really in tune, you know, and you pay attention to the symbols and things around you, just like in the Bible when who was that person? Who was the character that wanted proof? He wanted proof. He said that he was the least of his men. He was the least of his kind. I can't think of the name in particularly, but this particular character in the Bible, God was telling him to go out there and be mighty and to take this small little tiny army to go and fight this huge, you know, this huge enemy, this huge army, you know. And he basically was like, hold up, Lord, hold up, wait a minute, hold up, let's rewind. I'm the least of my family, you know. And you know what the Lord said? Come from amongst them, you mighty man of valor. You may think that you are, you know, the least of them all, but that was a lie that was placed upon you. That is programming. You've been programmed to think so. Otherwise, that title wouldn't have been put on you if you weren't the greatest of all time. If you weren't the mightiest, mighty man of valor, mighty woman of valor, you know? They know your power. They are siphoning off of your power. You just don't understand and know why exactly, because you have not come into the full knowing of yourself. You're still in the haze, in the matrix, you know? So as you begin to see and realize the lies that's around you, then you'll begin to, okay, I don't have, this is all a charade. I mean, of course, you pay your bills and all of that, but I'm saying the whole mindset, the society, the whole structure, the brainwashing, the lies and whatnot. Use the tools that they have used upon you, on yourself. Become the master manipulator of your own mindset. You control your mindset. You control your mindset. And what you put into your mind, how you move in your mind, is going to be how your reality begins to play out. And I'm going to say this, those who are creative, keep seeing those visions, but I need you to put action to it. Every day, I want you to start coming and tapping into the GOAT. You, the greatest of all time. Tap into those gifts. So if I know for me, my thing, I like to draw and so forth. And when I'm talking about, you know, paying attention to those intuitive nudges, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm all over the place a little bit. Those intuitive nudges, sometimes when you begin to tap into your creativity, it begins to talk back to you. You know, it talks back to you. And as you begin to nurture yourself and go fully into it, you'll basically find the truth of who you are. Your truest identity. Your authenticity is going to speak for itself. It'll mirror you back in your creativity. And it'll have a voice of its own. And you'll realize that has always been that beast that's within you. You're a beast. You're the greatest of all time, honey. You just forgot you forgot your identity. That's it. That's it. Now you're rediscovering. And now they say in the Bible, the first will be last and the last will be first. Honey. The underdog. That'll come forward. And so when you begin to process that and you begin to work through those different triggers, you begin to discern and recognize what's going on. Anything that's coming at you, you're going to be like this. Dodged. Won't penetrate. And also on top of it, it's like, it puts you in mind of like, what you call it, Bruce Lee. And they talk about the art of dance, martial arts and so forth. You know, as your discernment sharpens and so forth, you'll be slicing and dicing and moving and sliding, and you know, as they come right at you, and you won't be moved. You know, you begin to basically, anytime that somebody's trying to project on you, whatever the emotions that they are projecting at you, so forth, that is truly how they feel. You know, that is not a reflection of who you are. That is a reflection of what's in them. And so you continue to dodge them bullets. And again, if the energy begins to swell and get too overwhelming and try to swell your way, your whole thing is to you know, go ahead and Do not fall out of beat. Do not fall out of step. Keep your joy. Keep your creativity, because there's a lot of people out here that is hurting and they have not processed their emotions. Basically, there are bots in the matrix system that we in. They're like NPC players. They have not taken a seat on their throne and become the author of their reality. So they're content with playing that mode of it's everybody else, not them. And when you continue to take that stance, you will continue to be a non-player character. And even if you do move up the ladder within the matrix, you are still at a further loss. The higher you go up, the more of a portal of basically a puppet. The bigger the puppet you are as a person, where you allow everything and everybody to control you and everything. So basically, as you move up as well, you have people like, okay, they have taken on the full identity of the matrix and so forth. They dead. They gone. Ain't nothing there. They ain't nothing but a reflection of basically whoever is the author of this whole matrix at the top. Follow the money, and that tells you where everything was going on around you. Follow the money. That's all you need. And know that they ain't nothing but an extension of that system, an extension of somebody else. Somebody else's mind, beehive mind, morgue mind, the board. They're part of the board. They have no mind of their own. It's gone. It's been taken up. They're nothing but clones. And so, again, when you see that, just know that, okay, know how to move, and don't even engage it. Because it's not worth the time or your energy. You need to stay in your dance, synchronization with what is your purpose, how you're supposed to be moving. Focus should be only aligned on what you are here to do as your purpose. You are here to create your heaven on earth. And if it does not align with that purpose and your vision, you know what they got to do. Put your nose side and slide it up over there, because it does not have anything to do with where you are going. And that's all I have for y'all today. So y'all, take a look here. This is my inspired piece though. I had a dream, and it came to me in a dream that I was walking, as you walk up your stairs of enlightenment, and that's basically all the wisdom that you've accumulated over the years as to, what you know about your programming. And as you become whole, when you begin to break through those old foundational systems that no longer work for you, you'll go up there thinking that, hey, y'all, look, I've changed. Not everybody gonna be happy for you. Not everybody's, there for you like that, as far as when it comes to you, coming and breaking through the system, you coming up, you being successful, you moving in your purpose. Not everybody gonna be for it. You're going to have a whole lot of people that's investing and you staying down because they have not figured out how to get there themselves, or they're looking to hitch a ride up off of you. Basically, energy suckers. Those is vampires. We call them vampires of the system. Parasites, okay? They're going to latch onto your energy, and then you're going to have people that's going to try to do everything to outcast those jewels. You don't cast your jewels to the pearl, or what do you call it? I'm getting tongue tied. You don't cast your pearls to swine, in all other words. And so this is my piece though, that basically, as I became aware of how everything was set up, and in the dream, as I presented that whole new way of being, my true authenticity, it was like going up to a firewall. Somebody was trying to firewall me off. And so it was casted away. And so within that casting away, basically I did not continue or need to feel like I need to fit within that system. I went on ahead and moved on. And as you see, when you move on and you invest in yourself, you invest in your pearls, your own jewels, you gain everything that you thought you lost. You gain everything back. So I don't know, like it seems like every time I talk about this, like my throat chakra tries to lock up. So I try to do my best to work through it. But yeah, you'll see here. I think y'all got it. Here we go. Yeah, but as you see, as you begin to walk up the stairs, through all the accumulated knowledge that you have, on the way up there, as you're beginning to ascend, you have right here, Five of Wands type people. The system will try to come for you. And as you become your truest identity, with your crown and your jewels, you're going to be firewalled. They're going to do everything they can to keep you tied to the system and to keep you broken down. And so, again, realize you're not of this world. You're in this world, but you're not of this world. So when you begin to realize that, hey, you don't need to adhere to none of this crap, then you'll be able to, again, invest in you, start healing through movement, your creativity, allowing it to come through, feel the pain, feel the emotions, and allow them to bubble through the surface. Sit back and watch and feel it. Don't tense up, don't lock up. Allow them to move through you. And when you allow it to move through you, you basically gain back a piece of who you are every time you do it. And as you see, they will come through like pearls of wisdom, pearls of abundance, everything that you thought you lost from the depths of your soul. From those deep waters, those deep emotions, they bubble through and come through. When they cast you out in this matrix, go deep and discover who you are. And allow the truth of who you really are to come through. Allow that mothering part of you to mother yourself. Allow Mommy Wa to come through and to nurture you. And bring forth those. See all this right here? Open your ears and hear. And allow that joy and creativity to nourish you. Begin to focus on your jewels, on who you are. Number 8 energy. And the infinity sign. You will never end, even though this matrix may end. Even when you die, you never end. Your physical body may go, but you will always be. And as you allow yourself to flood in and nurture, then you basically recover all of your abundance, all that you are. You begin to break through these matrices, these lies, the programming. And as you begin to live in joy and in balance, then you'll begin to create worlds within worlds. All your precious babies of creativity will come through. Because I know for me, when I went through, I felt that physically, it was basically like my body started going to its own, it started doing its own little, it's like these geometric shapes. I forgot what you call it, but it automatically, I started going into these different geometric shapes. And then there was a song that played, and it was like I saw visions of all the, it's like all the mothers that came before me, all the, I don't know, it was like it's like your ancestral line will come through, and I began to see visions of who they were, what they were saying. And some of them had, I had known on the earthly plane and had passed away. And then some that I didn't know. And then some I just felt. Everything that you are, you come from a lineage of mighty warriors. You come from a lineage of, it's the blood that runs through your veins. That is part of your unique imprint. And no matter what religious systems we have now in today's society, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. Regardless of whatever rubric they want to place you within, whatever molding they want to place you within, you don't have to stay within that molding. You can use that as an example, as a vehicle to your spirituality, as a vehicle to you tapping in to who you are, what's in your veins, what's in your blood. You are your ancestors. You are the ancestors. You are the accumulation of them in this lifetime. And it's most certainly important for you to thrive, for you to break those curses now. Because when you break those curses now, you break it for them. You break it for the next generation. You break it for your family line in its entirety. And when you break those molds, don't you know that you begin to bring this whole system down that we in? This you are getting sleepy. You're beginning to, you break away and break open the whole system of lies. And you begin to fly away. So when you free your mind, you feed your soul and you allow your soul to be free. You allow your truest identity to come through. You are here to experience heaven on earth. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. And then as you allow your spirit to come through, guess what? You unlock generational wealth for your future, for your next family line, those before, all of that, you begin to break through all of that. And you generate all of that goodness that you're meant to have. In our society today, wealth, joy, the ability to move freely, to live the great life, the good life, and so forth, is reserved for the filthy rich, who at the end of the day are so spiritually immature, they don't know what to do with this. Like basically giving a baby, a 2-year-old, wealth and so forth, and expecting them to not destroy it and squander it. They are spiritually, spiritually dead, in all other words. They don't know what to do with it because they are completely disconnected. And they basically are creating this world of backwardness as a reflection of their inners. That is how they are. They're in hell every day, no matter what kind of wealth they have and so forth. It's a form of hell. And you, as the generational curse breaker, the greatest of all time, you don't have to stay in that matrix or live in that matrix to that degree. You have the ability to break those curses, to see right through it. And as you begin to free yourself, free your mind, free your soul, you'll free your, first and foremost, all of those that are dependent on you, your family, all of that, everything, the community around you, by healing yourself. Heal yourself and free your mind. Free your soul. Bring forth your authenticity. Bring forth your creativity. Work it. Okay? Have a seat on your throne. And as you do that, a nation from underneath you will rise. It will rise. The kings and queens around you will begin to rise. All right, so that's all I have for y'all today. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and y'all have a wonderful day. Stay blessed.